Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Even though a lot of everything about you is borrowed, your mind happens to be a unique combination of so many different things that make you something in history that will never, ever repeat again. You are one out of one.
Welcome everyone to part 2 of episode 4 of Maru TV with Scott. She's joining us today from somewhere in Maryland that I cannot pronounce, and I hope you get to watch the first half of my interview with her, which was all about her journey from American Idol, what she's learned, how her life is transformed, and where this depth of wisdom comes from. Because at 19 years old, this young woman is very inspirational. She has a lot to share, and I couldn't fit it all into one half. I had to continue it because I have so many more questions. And on this part of the interview, I'd like to pick up where we left off, which in the first half of the interview, you were talking about, you know, if you want to grow into a bigger role in the world, if you want to be bigger and better, and let's say you want to grow your business, you have to be bigger than you have been. Can you tell me what you mean by that?
See, I think at the end of the day, really, as I was saying, we don't have so much individuality as we think that we do. And, you know, that's not to say that we are not our own, but we are a part of something much bigger than we are. So in order to be successful in this world, you have to do that. You have to be bigger than what you are. And so that's really the key to any kind of success, I believe, is that, you know, on any platform, doesn't matter what you're trying to do in the world, if you connect to an individual and you truly connect to the core of them, you'll have them loyally for the rest of your life. And if you do that by the hundreds or by the thousands or by the millions, you become bigger than what you are, but you become a part of that person. And I think that's when the most successful businesses take off, or when the most successful ideas take off, when the ideas of the business connect to who you are as a human. And I think that's the most important thing in anything, is don't forget the human element when doing anything.
Right. So whether you want to admit it or not, my dear, now that you've become an artist and you've been exposed of this amazing platform that American Idol is, and I assume this is something you want to pursue, right? Because you wouldn't have gone on American Idol if this is something you didn't want to do for the rest of your life. A lot of the people that watch the show are entrepreneurs, but I consider artists entrepreneurs as well. They just don't necessarily see themselves as such because it sounds more businessy, right? But I want to talk about, how did you keep yourself going when elimination was the word of the day every week, every other day? How did you deal with the fear and the doubts that can really derail us from our passions and our dreams?
You know, and actually it was a mental switch that happened between the celebrity audition and Hollywood Week. I actually, people don't know this, but after I got my golden ticket, I broke down crying. Broke down crying, and it wasn't because I was overjoyed. It was because I was scared I wasn't where I was supposed to be. See, TV is interesting in the fact that, you know, to a certain extent, it has to be fabricated. So you have to be able to condense down humans so that the humans back home can understand them in a short amount of time.
Right.
So that was frightening for me, because all I want to do is speak to people. All I want to do is touch people. That's all I wanted to do. And so when I was walking into the celebrity room, and then my audition was messy. It was. So I walked out of the room thinking, I'm never going to have the respect to speak to people. And I want to cry about it thinking about it now. It's the number one most important thing to me. And I was lost. There was people crying because they didn't get a gold ticket, and here I was holding one, and I was crying. And even to the point where I had to talk to the contestant coordinator, and we had to talk it out, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go to Hollywood Week. And I ended up deciding to sit on it. I had to go through a mental reconfiguration, basically. And I've learned to trust the universe. I've learned that and like I've said in my videos, because this is what got me through Idol, that you are very complex and you are a world of things, but you are part of a huge complex system. And you do have a role in it. So really, I always say, and I will say this 50 million times over and over and over again until everyone hears it, the universe will do what it needs to do in order to make you what you need to be to fill its system. And I just had to trust that. So if I was at Idol and I got a golden ticket in my hand and I was going to Hollywood Week, I had to trust that if I knew, and I've always known that I needed to speak to people, and I had what's in my head to make people feel more comfortable and happier in their lives, then I just had to trust that I was on the right path. And that's it. So really all I did was breathe. That's all I did throughout the entire thing. And I'm even in Hollywood Week group rounds, I was so tired and mentally depleted. I had been up for, I think, like, it was going on 48 hours.
Wow.
We're working on it. I couldn't remember anything. I had woken up that morning and I had known the song. It was PYT that I sang for group rounds. I know the song. I know the lyrics. Woke up. I was singing them fine. We had choreography. We had cute little movements and everything. I was doing it perfectly fine. And then slowly, as the day went on, I stopped remembering lyrics, just like one word by one word, and stopped remembering moves. And I couldn't get it again. I spent 10 hours trying to learn lyrics. 10 hours, and I couldn't. And so finally it came time where they're like, okay, group rounds, they're starting. Come sit in the auditorium seats. And my father was there, and he turned to me and he was like, you good? And I was like, no, I don't know any of my words. But I was smiling and I was happy. And I was like, whatever is going to happen is supposed to happen. It was meant to happen. And all I have to do is enjoy the ride. Right. That's all I am. I'm just a vessel. And that gave me such immense comfort throughout the entire process that's the only thing that I held on to, was that mental state that I had to just trust. I just had to trust. And even when it hurt, and even when it felt great, that it wasn't really a product of me doing it. It was a product of me learning what I had to be what I need to be.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love that. And as an entrepreneur myself, I can't tell you how many times your confidence gets shattered, or events happen where you get distracted, or maybe you don't have the same energy to fulfilled, what you were supposed to fulfill at the time. And we all have to breathe and remind ourselves that, if it's happening that way, it's for a reason, right? Not everything is going to line itself up perfectly, for you. But if it doesn't happen, then maybe you're supposed to learn something from that experience, right?
Right. Exactly.
Because we're being polished. All the time. We're being polished. So I want to talk about, what would you tell your younger self? Is there something you would tell your younger self?
That's a great question.
Knowing that what you know now, and the whirlwind that your life has undergone, the past 4 months, what would you tell your younger self?
That even your weak spots aren't bad. I would tell myself that, because growing up knowing that I was different, every difference felt like it was a wrong.
Wow.
And that's a heavy thing to hold, especially as a human. I feel like and actually problems got worse because I had that mentality. So I went I was doing well in school, and I was trying to learn humans, and I was trying to learn that connection. I was chasing it really desperately. And till the point where I got into a magnet program, I was solid on track for everything. And then I developed an anxiety disorder. It was really serious. I had attacks like 3 to 4 times a week. Mm-hmm. And it was a dread. I can't even articulate into words. Like, it was as if I knew something that I shouldn't. And I dropped out of the magnet program. I left it, and I started trying to seek what I had lost. And it just kept getting worse and worse. And I suffered from migraines and so many physical problems. And finally, I came in tune with the fact that what I was, my sensitivity, my awareness, my wrongs, they weren't that. They were just an awareness, and maybe perhaps a sensitivity to the world around me, and not being so much in line with our humanity. That I was taking on not only the sickness of myself, but the sickness of the world, and the sickness of me not being myself. And that got out of hand really, really fast. But as soon as I genuinely connected to who I was, I haven't had a problem since.
Wow.
I don't get panic attacks anymore for years. It's a beautiful and powerful thing.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing that. So for being so transparent, because we're virtually strangers, and the people that are going to be watching you, many of you are not going to know you. So for you to share that your weak spots are not wrongs, and that by you finally listening, dropping down within and listening to what was trying to be said, what was trying to come through you, you got healed. That is it's so humbling for me to hear. And I'm so grateful to hear that, because I've had similar experience, and I work with people that experience ways that stress can sneak in, internal stress, mental stress, and they're trying to hold on to too much.
Right.
And I'm so glad that you're expressing this into the world. So I'm going to start wrapping it up, because if not, we can continue to talk for another 2 hours. But just describe now what success means to you.
Success to me is it's being a universe. It's creating a universe within this world, because that's all the world is. It's just universes within universes. So if you as a human, and the universe that is your brain, if you can turn this universe in here into a world outside of you, I think that's success. I think that's most certainly success.
Deep. How does that show up in your life? What universe are you creating?
To me, all I want to see is a better world. So, and to me that's empathy. To me that's connection. To me that's success. Humans being humans, right? And so really, through my songwriting, through my singing, through my speaking, through anything that I do for the rest of my life, I want to display what type of human I want to see in the world. And you know what? I always say this, and I really mean it. I have empathy, but at the end of the day, I need a better world for me. It's not something because I'm clichély altruistic and, I like helping people. It's because genuinely I can't help but not see it. So I have to fix it. I have to help you. I can't look at your eyes and see the pain and not do anything about it because it bothers me. And so I think to a certain extent, once you're connected, once you're empathetic, once you're seeing, and once you're a part of your universe, you won't have a choice but to be good. I don't think you'll have a choice but to be successful. I don't think you'll have a choice but to be bigger than what you are, and to live a life full of happiness and pain and everything that is so beautiful about the world. You will be it. You will be living it. You will be an example of it. You will be a walking entity of it. And I think, if anything, That's success. And I'm starting to create my own world. And it's small right now, but any one person that you connect to, one single person is a world of success. And I think that's always important to keep in mind. Anything you do is important. The smallest of things are important.
Right. And we are doing that, by the way, that we're showing up. I'm doing it from my corner of the world. You're doing it from your corner of the world. And I'm so thankful and grateful that a soul like you landed in a platform such as, one of the most successful shows on TV ever, because we need voices like yourself, like yours. We need people with the soul strength that you bring into the world and to what you're doing. Thank you, She, for your valuable time. I adore you already. And gosh, can I be your big sister?
Love you. Please.
Seriously, I'm just like, wow, I could I'm going to rewatch this interview, everyone, and I'm going to write down quotes and things like that. I don't even know. You're so much bigger, my dear, than what you think you are. I mean, your passion, your crystal clear desire to make a difference and to spark people into thinking that they are here, that they are who we've been waiting for, that they're it, they're here to create their own universe and to help the world and make a difference. I don't even know if I'm articulating it as beautifully as you said. I'm just in awe here. Really, that last part, I really think it's time to end the interview now because it was so powerful. It gave me chills and it was incredible. So with that, again, please still thank you to your mother who helped me coordinate this. Thank you, my dear. God bless your journey. Every person that you're able to connect to, and may doors open to you easily and effortlessly. And if there's anything I could do for you, by all means, please let me know.
This was an honor. It really was. You're a beautiful human being. What you're doing is beautiful.
Thank you. And I hope everyone got a lot out of it. And if you want this or more interviews that will leave you inspired and ready to take on the journey to create your own success and make a difference in the world, definitely stay tuned to Maru TV because more interviews and more great info is coming your way. See you, everybody.
Bye.